Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrabhyo Vamsha Rishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Badram Karne Vishnu Yama Devaha Badram Pashyemakshabir Yajatraha Sthirairangai Sushtuvam Sastanubihi Vyashema Devahidam Yadayuhu Swastina Indro Vruddhashravaha Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha Swastina Starksho Arishtanemihi Swastino Brihaspati Rudadatu Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. So as we have been seeing from the last 6 verses, the whole Upanishad starts from Shaunaka, the Mahashala, or the great Yaga follower, asking Angiras, the preacher or the teacher, who is in the tradition of Brahma onwards to Angiras. Kasminno Bhagavo Vijñāte Sarvamidam Vijñādam Bhavati. O Master, in which knowledge will we know everything, the reality of everything? And the Master says that Dve Vidye Veditavye. You have to learn both for your understanding. Not studying what is the truth alone is, and what is untrue is also equally important, because such is the effect of ignorance or Maya that we can be deluded that even a slightest error in judgment can land us in thinking that the apara or what is told in the Upanishad, or even the other books which are like Purana, etc., we may end up thinking that this is what is the reality is all about. So both the knowledge is equally important, what is para and what is apara. So we have been seeing that in the previous Mundaka, the Pradama Mundaka, and in the first pada of the second Mundaka, the detailed description of apara vidya, and interlinked with, in between, the teacher was talking about the reality of what is the truth which is embedded in the unreal. So the reality should be seen through the unreal, because our sense organs and our intellect and mind and body, etc., can only sense the unreal. The unreal in the sense that they are not exhibiting reality. They are exhibiting the unreality, or the transition nature of that impermanent nature of things. None of them are nityam. So if you want to know the truth, which is Satyam Jnanam Anandam Brahma or Nityam Brahma, that Nityatvam cannot be directly perceived in the world of objects which we have been perceiving through our sense organs and the mind and body and intellect. So we need to know that what are the ways in which we need to identify the truth among the apparent impermanent things which are being the only available for our sense organs. So how to do this, to segregate the truth while experiencing the impermanent things, is what is the process in which we have to understand how it is to be done. So towards conclusion of the last part, the teacher says that Purusha eva idam vishwam. This Purusha, or this Brahman, which is the Supreme, eva idam vishwam. He is this entire Vishwam, or the entire world of experiences. Vishwam means the cosmos, or the world of experiences. He is indeed the appearing as, or is the world of experience as karma tapa brahma paramrutam. It is there as karma, as the actions. It is as there in that form of, austerity. And we should also understand that the creator in the form of supreme, who has come in the form of creator also, because we are seeing creation everywhere. So the ultimate has even taken the form of the creator to make in the karma, tapas, etc. One who sees the real, the absolute, that Purusha in the heart of his own nature, in himself, in nihitam guhaya, in the innermost, in the bosom of his own being. For him, sa avidya granthi. For him, the avidya granthi, or the knot of ignorance, or the binding, the bondage of ignorance, which is keeping us thinking that the reality is what we are seeing. Vikarati iha, that gets destroyed, that knot or the clutch of the ignorance on our, intellect and the mind, and, what we think the world as reality is broken by that. Oh dear student, or dear son. Saumya means one, dear one. So he is told that this is what is to be known. Purusha eva idam vishwam. Now this Purusha eva idam is very commonly you will find in almost all Upanishad. Purusha eva idam sarvam vishwam is in this one. Then the same thing you can see in the Taittiriya Upanishad, in the Purusha Sukta, all places you will see that Purusha eva idam. This is that Purusha, but we do not see the Purusha in this one. What we see the Purusha is in the name and form of the multiplicity of the world. We are not able to see the truth in this multiplicity which is coming to us in the name and form of different nature. To explain that, he now goes, the first two mantras are talking about the ultimate, and the third and fourth are for the sadhaka, or the meditator, who are the highest quality of intellect. Only for him he is giving the process of meditation or pranava upasana based on the pranava, or based on Om, how this can be achieved. So the first mantra of the second pada of the second Mundaka goes like this. Avihi sannihidam guhacharam nama mahatpadam atra tat etat samirpitam ejat pranan nimishanda cha yat etat janataha sadasat yat varishtam prajanam. Avihi sannihidam guhacharam. Avihi means the one which is shining or effulgent. Sannihidam it is confirmed, its existence is by positive. Sannihidam. Nihidam means existence. Sannihidam means evidently its existence is shown as the effulgent, or the nature of shining. Guhacharam nama, he is also called the one who moves inside in the body. Guha here means is the heart, or in the body of every object has got a name and a form. So he is the one who is moving inside the form of everyone, not only for us, the one who is hearing it, the one who is speaking, but every object which is seen in the world outside should be taken as the guha, or the vastu, or the body, embodied one, in which that is the one which is filling the object with existence. Nama means he is also well known. Mahat padam atra etat. This great goal, which is Mahat padam, supreme goal, supreme status, atra etat samarpitam, is based on this Brahman. So, samarpitam etat. So, here that Brahman is not used as the word Brahman itself because it is formed in the word used is tat. Etat means in all these things. Like what? Ejata pranan nimishancha. Ejataha means moving around. Pranan means breathing or showing life in the body. Nimishan means which is coming and going or blinking expression of the eye closing and opening is what is called nimisha, the typical way. But here it is appearing and disappearing. So it has got movement, but it is showing life, and it is like coming and going means it is appearing and disappearing, which means birth and death. Both are happening. So all those things, this is the way in which it is exhibiting itself. Etat janataha. You may know this truth, which is it is the one only which is appearing as many. Sadasat varenyam. Sad asat. Sat and asat. These two words are used in many different meanings. With and without is one. Cause and effect is one way. And one is the way which with names and forms, and in the primordial stage when it is asat, without the name and form, that also can be used as it. But varenyam means it is the one which is being sought after. So this truth which I have been talking to you, which is seen as moving in the moving objects, as prana or as life force in all the objects, or the objects which appear and disappear, which is coming and birth and decay, is guhacharam. He is the one which is the one with which that any object is existing, or it is the one which is keeping the body as one whole in it. There, sadasat varenyam. Therefore, he is varenyam means he is the most sought after. And he has got different forms that it has got. You can say that it is satrupam and asatrupam. Both are hit. And sadasat varenyam. It is both sought after in the form of name and form, but it is also sought after without the name and form, or with the cause and effect. Param, the supreme. Vijnanat varishtam. Through inquiry, Vijnanat here is through knowledge, but through knowledge means through inquiry or vichara, or by proper understanding and knowing about it. Prajanam, the people is seeking for it. Now here is a great truth which the teacher is telling about, is that all the people in their activity unknowingly is seeking this truth only. That is the innate nature of every existence. The appearance which we are seeing, we think that they are appearing as individual objects and doing things which they like. And then, if you really analyze all the activities like ejat, prana, nimishan, like the moving around or the showing life and the birth and death and decay, what is the purpose of all those movements or all those things which have been mentioned? It is to seek this. This life which we have got now has got a speciality. We have got that instrument, the buddhi, manas, or the inner instrument through which we can know about it, or vijanan. In objects which are other than human beings, they move around, they show life, but even they are seeking for it, but they are not knowing it. They can have no capacity to know that. So we have got here a capacity to know that. Therefore, in the body itself, or in the guhacharam, nihitam guhayam, in our own inner bosom, we should find out there. We don't have to go anywhere outside, because that is just as you are made of it, I am made of it, everything else is made of that. So it is there in everything. You don't have to search it anywhere outside, which has been what you have been doing in all your previous aspects of karma kanda. You have been searching for the Surgaloka, Brahmaloka, all those things, thinking that is the place where you will find the ultimate. The ultimate is there in every atom and every iota of life. Whatever may be the form, whether it's moving or immoving or birth and death and everything. Then he goes to the next mantra. Yad archimat yat anubhyo anuhu ya yasmin loka nihita lokinaha cha tadedat aksharam brahma saprana tadvangmanaha tadedat satyam tad amrutam tadedat vyam somya vidhi. Now here he is telling what is to be known. O Saumya, tam tvam vidhi, you should know this. What is to be known? Yad archimat anubhyo anu. Archimat means extremely shining, means it is showing the existence. Even darkness is shining because it has got existence. Or anything when we call it as unknown, the entire set of unknown is also exhibiting existence of unknown. That knowability, not knowability, is exhibited as unknown. So everywhere you look at it, Archimat, it is exhibiting or effulgency or existence is being what is being exhibited by that. At the same time, that existence, what is that if you look at it? Sat anubhyo anuhu, that is subtler than the subtlest, because existence as an object, we cannot see it. But at the same time, everything what we know shows existence in its nature. Archimat. So, and what happens is that even in the subtlest of the space which cannot be physically comprehended, the subtlest aspect of that, even an atom or a quark or even in any matter which we can think about it, needs space to exist. So anubhya anu is the space. But even space is shining to us as existence, which is the shining or the existence, which is the revealing to us as existence. Cha yasmin lokaha, in which worlds nihita lokinascha are based. The people who are searching for all those people here, the people doesn't mean lokinascha, means we should not take physically human beings. The entire objects of experiences is in that world of Brahman. The Brahman itself is the world in which the objects are existing and it is showing the existence. Edad aksharam, tad edad aksharam. That indeed is that aksharam, means it has never got decayed ever. In spite of the appearances happening and disappearances happening, the space has never got decayed. But even this is subtler than the space. Even space can come and go. Because in our deep sleep, we don't even know about space. So even space is vanished, but our existence, that I exist and we exist in our experience in the deep sleep, where the space itself is not being experienced, there also it is the one which is shining. Therefore it is Aksharam. It is the one without any decay. And he is called Brahman. Sa pranahas tadu. That indeed is the prana. That indeed is the chaitana or the chaitanyam which is shown as a living in every object. Either it may show movement by way of animals and human beings and trees, etc. In other places, the movement may not be there, but prana is seen as existence itself. Tad amritam. And that is amritam, because even that name and form may go, but the existence of that name and form after that doesn't go. It becomes some other existence in the form of, the existence continues from the different forms. So what in the Tarkika language that is say abhava adhikarana swarupam. Suppose if we say that on the table, that there is an absence on the table, that the book is not on the table, what does it mean? That book is not there, but the table is there. Like abhavam adhikarana swabhavam. Same way, when the name and form vanishes from the substratum of the space in which it was existing, because of which it was existing, because it needed space to exist, that space is still there. So one way or the other, the existence can never be said to be not there. So even in the absence of the space, we have the existence of our own existence. Therefore, it is amritam. That amritam means immortal. It has never been born, it has never died. That has been consistent in its own existence. Therefore, tad Veda avyayam. There should be known Veda. It should be known as avyayam, without any changes. Vyayam means change. Avyayam means without changes. O Saumya, tad vidhi, you should know that. Now, when the master talks about all those things, about these type of riddled statements in the mantra, Mahashala Shaunaka, who is so much interested in the, chanting the mantras for doing the ahutis and the yajna and the kriyas, different type of thing, activities in the Yagashala, what he has been doing. For him to know this type of esoterical or tangible expressions from the master becomes very, very difficult, which is normally case not only for him, for all of us, because these words do not make sense to us, because for us what happens is that a name or a sound, when it is heard, immediately we are associating it with the object or with the known example of that. But when the sound comes itself, we are getting the knowledge. Immediately we put the knowledge, and in the application of the knowledge, we say when somebody says a car, the knowledge of car arises first in our mind, and then we immediately have the image of the car in our mind. The car or image in one person may be different from another person. That is immaterial, because that is from what he has understood as suppose if it's an elephant, the elephant which you saw may be the picture which you will immediately think about it. But what elephant I will think about is the elephant which I have seen. But both of us will have the knowledge of elephant immediately the word when we hear the word elephant. But in this case of tat amritam, tat avyayam, all these type of words are very difficult to give us a knowledge. How does these words become fruitful for us? How does it become knowledge when I hear such a word from the Upanishad? Is very, very difficult. To overcome this aspect of the student, like all of us, the teacher goes into practical example how to do it. How can the words become knowledge if of a new word which you have never heard about it, is what the teacher says in the third mantra. Danuhu grihitva aupanishatam mahashram sharam hi upasa nishitam sandita ayamya yatad bhavagatena chetasa lakshyam tad eva aksharam saumya viddhi. So I'll tell one word by one word. Danuhu means the bow. Grihita Upanishadam, having held the instruction from the words of the Upanishad. Grihita means having accepted the Upanishad, means having accepted the words or the instructions from the Upanishad, which is Mahastram. Mahastram means it's a great weapon. The Upanishad is a great weapon. Like the sharam, like the arrow. He upasa. Indeed, one should meditate on the words of the Upanishad. When it is said Avyayam, Amritam, all those words, they are all words like the arrow, and it can remove the ignorance because it is Mahastram. But it cannot make a Mahastram, remove your ignorance just by hearing that. But you need to upasa nishitam with sharpened intellect, with the analytical aspect of the mind or the intellect on the words, and how does it relate to my experience? This experience, how does it make? Because when the word of elephant was told, that the meaning came to us, knowledge came to us, and immediately we could imagine the elephant which I have seen. To a person who has not seen any elephant, that word will not make any impact on him. He cannot even imagine what an elephant is. But there will be still a knowledge of something is being told about. What is that? That knowledge is not known. The knowledge of something is being told is known, but what is that we do not know. Exactly is the same when Amritam, Avyayam, all those words are used by the Upanishad. We know Amritam as what doesn't have death. Avyayam means we know what is changing. But that which is without changing and without death, what it is like, because I have never seen anything in my life which is not changing or which has not had a death or a decay or aksharam, all those things which have been so. So for me to think what is the meaning of that words is very difficult. Therefore, the master says, Nishitam hi upasa. By sharpening your intellect, you have to meditate upon the words. Sandita, then fix your concentration. Tad bhavagatena, with the concentration on the Tat, Brahman. I don't know Brahman, what is Brahman? But I am giving a concentration to the word of Brahman. Ayamya, having drawn from the words of the Upanishad, I am drawing the meanings of each of the words and then putting it on together to the Brahman, Tat, Brahman. Chetasa, with the intellect, Lakshyam. Now my target is Brahman. I am using because these are all Lakshyartha Vachakas. Lakshya means that they are not standing for their own. They are only indicative words. Aksharam, Amritam, Avyayam, all those words are indicative words for Brahman. Brahman is a vastu. Like any other object, it is an object of experience. It is an object of experience because it is experienceable in a different way, not like an object which we have in our daily transaction. At the same time, since it is a reality because it has got an existence, anything which has got an existence can be realized or experienced. Therefore, Tadeva Aksharam, that is the one which is without decay. To that Aksharam, you have to target your sharp intellect using the words of the Upanishad. Different words are being used in the Upanishad. Use them as arrow, sharam, and then use that to target yourself by through the word. What is that the word is indicating is what is to be your target, or your concentration should be on that. Now, the problem is that there are many words which the Upanishad has been talking about. And all of them are indicative words, whether Abhyayam, Amritam, all those words are like that. So how can a student have multiple words and then concentrate on Brahman, the experience of Brahman, to indicate that using the word, how can he arrive at the experience of Brahman? This becomes a daunting task for the student. So the master says that, okay, don't worry. Let us go to the next level. Pranavo dhanu sharo hyatma brahmatat lakshyam uchyate apramettena vedadavyam sharavat tayo tatmayo bhavet. Pranavaha, the sound of Om, is the dhanu. Imagine that is the bow. The stiff and rigid bow is dhanu. Sharaha hi atma. The arrow is yourself. Brahma tal laksham uchyate. Brahma is the target. Apramattena vedavyam. Without a pramadam, you should know vedavyam. And when the target is being understood, sharavat tanmayo bhavet. When the arrow disappears at the target, there will not be separate between the target and the arrow. This is what the teacher says, the methodology of Omkara Upasana. A detailed explanation is given in the Mundaka Upanishad, where it starts with Laye Sambodhaye Chittam Vikshiptam Shamayet Tunaha Sakakshayam Vijaniyat Samapradam Na Chalayet. Now this is in the Advaita Prakaranam, 44 and 45 mantras are there, where the Karika Kara in the Advaita Prakaranam, he talks about this meditation of Omkara meditation and how one should keep meditating that. This, when we come to the Mundaka Upanishad, we can see that the practice of Omkara Upasana much more. Now here what does it say that? Pranava Dhanu. The sound of Om, as we know in the Mundaka Upanishad, it has been told that Akara, Ukara, Makara. So the bow has the three aspects of it. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. Om ityeda aksharam Brahma. Therefore, Om is Brahman itself. Now Brahma, the Dhanu is the bow is Brahma. Dhanu, Brahma, so the Om is Brahma, so Dhanu is Brahma, the bow is Brahma. Sharam is Atma, that is not different from Atma. Atma, Brahma, Eka. I am Atma, Brahma is the Upanishad saying. So, what am I going to do by when I am being told that I should use Om as the Pranava, as the bow, and I place myself as the Atma, as the Sharam or the arrow, and when I am targeting myself to the Brahman by using the word Tadaksharam, Sharam, and when the Shara goes and merges with that, here is a very high level of intellectual meditation. The whole word in this mantra depends upon just one word, which is most of us, we do not know how to do it. That word is called apramattena. The pramadam or the delusion which we happen is that There are people who are doing the meditation. When you sit on a meditation, eka sajadiya, vijadiya, all the vitti pravaha will be, what is that? The different type of thoughts will come. But what happens in the pramada? When you are slipping from your concentration, you are not aware of yourself. We may try our level best to be concentrating on the target of dhyayam or the meditative or thing. But when does the mind take away from that for a spur of a moment, that when does it happen, we do not know. We lose our concentration, and the mind will be already would have gone into many other subjects. We are not aware of it because that is the way the mind operates. So when he is saying that the target is Brahman, the dhanu, which is an omkara, is also om ityeta aksharam Brahma, and ayamatma Brahma is the sharam. Here I am. All these are all coming from the Upanishad mantras only. So in the previous mantra we saw that dhanus, that instruction for meditation is being given, that oneness feeling, but at the same time there is apparent three reality. The target is Brahman. The Omkara, which is also Brahman, is in the form of a bow, and I am the arrow which is going to merge using Omkara into the target of Brahman. But when I am meditating upon that, when does the pramada takes over me and I do not know where my mind goes? But if we are successful in doing it, then what is called tanmayo bhave. That separatedness which we make, that I am the arrow and the Brahman is that target which I want to go, that separatedness will vanish. Tanmayo bhave. For this, the Omkara, the Akara, Ukara Matra, and the Amatra, where there is no sound, which also stands for our Jagrat Swapna Sushupti. And the Jagrat Swapna Sushupti, the waker, the dreamer, and the deep sleep, one beyond all the three stages is the Amatra, the Sakshi, Chinmatroham Sadashiva. Only when you use this analysis of the Akara, Ukara, Makara, Akara is for the Jagrat state, Ukara is for the Swapnavastha, and Makara, the end, is for the Nidravastha or the Sushupti Avastha. Akara, Ukara, Makarasya, then out of beyond that is the silence before the next waking starts again, Akara. So we have these three experiences in our thing, which is described as Om in the Mundaka Upanishad. That Upanishad mantra is the mantra which is being referred here. So what does the Upanishad say here is the Omkara Upasana is to go into analysis with the intellect which is sharpened for our personal experience of waking, dream, and deep sleep, and the one which is observing the three states. That becomes the arrow. Then Atma hi ara, Sharaha. That when you look at it in that clear mind, apramattena, where there is no pramada, tanmayo bhave, that is the time when you know that there is no you separate, because that you or I, which we all have, is only in the Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, waker, dream, and deep sleep. The one which is observing all the three doesn't have an I. It is only when we identify with my waking, my dream, and my sleep, I have my body association and the body sleeping, body dreaming and the body this thing. But if we look at it beyond that as a separate, Tebhyo Vilakshana Sakshi, different from that, without any attribution, when you see these three as experiences in the substratum of awareness, that there you become awareness, and that awareness do not have the I-ness in it. The I is only more for the three. Therefore, Tanmayo Bhave, it becomes one with the substratum from where that awareness is existing itself. That existence itself is a substratum awareness. This is the way in which one has to keep meditating on the Om Mukti, the Pranavopasana. A detailed Pranavopasana is mentioned in the Dvaita Prakaranam of the Mandukya Karika, where the Om itself is the subject of the Upanishad itself. Now, to explain this further, Yasmin Dev Vidhi Prithvi cha Antariksham Otam Manha Saha Prana cha Sarvaha Tam Eva Ekam Janataha Atmanam Anya Vacho Vimunchataha Amrutasya Yesha Setu. To encourage the student, what the teacher says is that in which that Brahman in which the higher planes of Dev or the higher world, Prithvi, the earth, cha Antariksham, the space in which is holding the higher realms and the lower realms. Otam, it is that in which it is webbed. The whole thing is like warp and woof, or web and woof, in that like a cloth, where the thing, but the cloth itself does not have an existence. Same way, the space, the world, the higher world and the earth world is the field of experience, which is nothing but in that substratum of the awareness. And then manha saha, along with the mind and the prana, sarve tavam tam eva ekam, that single one is what is one you should know. Atmanama anya vacho, if the different name is Atma for it, Vimunchataha, and you should give up the names other than that, what is not, is explained in that other by other words. Amrutasya Eshaha Setu, this is the only bridge which can take you across to the world of immortality of your real nature. As long as you hold on to the immortals, like body, mind and intellect and the objects of the world outside, you will also be immortal. You will also be immortal, like, because you are associating with the mortals. So for the Amrutasya Esha Setu, for the bridge through which we can go across the Amrutasya Param to the other side of immortality, you can cross it only through this, by knowing that this is the everything, in which the whole existence itself is existing as web and woof. And in the mantra 6, what he says, Ara iva radanabau samhata yatra nadya sa yesha andaha sarate bahuda jayamanaha Om iti evam dhyayataha atmanam swasti vaparaya tamasa parastad. Now, here he is giving one more example. Now, he told about Brahman, target, Om as Acharan, yourself, ourselves as Atma, we should target and Tanmayo Bhave, merge into that Brahma. Still, the mind of the student can be not very confused, very settled, in the sense that he will still think that there is a separation between that Brahman and the Atman. I am the Atman, Brahman is something different, and I will go and merge with Brahman. All sorts of mental pramadam will happen. So to remove that, he says that like the spokes in a wheel. For a chariot wheel, Radhanavo here is a chariot wheel, like the spokes which is holding the rim of the wheel to the hub in the center, samhata, yatra nadya, all these senses which is going from the center of the heart to the entire corners of the body is like the web by the spokes and the wheel of the chariot wheel, and they are all connected to the hridayam. For the like that, the veins of the body, or you can say all the senses which is there in the body. Esha andascharate, in that he is moving around. Bahuda jayamana, as if born as multiple ways. As you know, all the different senses and different spots in the body. This is as if born in the many places, but he is only one, Saha Ekaha. And he is the one who is there, all the extra body. So you have another mental image of that. I am not just talking about one aspect inside myself as an Atman, which is only in the Angushtamatra Purusha, in the heart. No. He is also the one which is moving through all the veins and nerves and the skins and the molecules, all the cells of the body. He is the one which is the life in the cell, in this thing. Jayamana, as if born. Omityevam dhyayataha atmanam swasti. Atmanam. That Atma which has been told as the arrow in that one, here you should feel that your entire beingness. So when he is talking about the nadi, like the spokes and the wheel, the meditator should feel that his entirety, it is not that something from his heart merges with the Brahman. No. His entirety, existence itself merges with that Om, in that alone, that Om alone. And one who knows that, and one who can achieve that oneness, he crosses over all sorts of darkness or ignorance, parastar, to the other side of light or other side of knowledge, the brightness or the effulgent one, the Brahman, everything, because you are no more limited by the body. Because tanmayo bhaved, you are one, becoming one with that infinite reality which is there. I am unnecessarily limiting myself to this physical body and saying I am mortal. I have got birth, death, decay and all those things with association with the body. But even the body, the awareness or the tingling sensation even in the one corner of your body, that is awareness. Where is that there you don't have awareness? The entire body you have awareness. So you cannot say that awareness is limited to my body. Even the awareness which is there, it is there outside also. Andar Bahischa, which we have seen in the previous Upanishad mantras also. So all the Upanishads, what is saying that it is our limitation with the identification, the physicality of the body. We feel our limitedness and limited human being because of the shape and the form which we are saying. But if we are shifting out from that limitation to the awareness or existence of, which is the awareness itself, which is shining as existence, leave the limitation of the body, then you will become immortal. Tamasya param. That is the crossing over of the darkness. From the ignorance of your not knowing your reality, you cross over to that immortal being, which is our real nature. This is what the Upanishads want us to meditate upon. And with apramattena, without pramadam, never should we get deviated by the ignorance dragging us to the world of reality, thinking that the world of reality is separate from the reality in which it has got reality from. The reality of the world is from the only one real thing. The name and form changes because they are apparent in nature. But the reality or the existence and the awareness of objects, everything including our own body and the existing of everything else in the world, is nothing but that existence and awareness. With that, I stop today's thing. We'll continue in the next Friday. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om. That's it. Dhanyawada. Namaskar. Thank you all.